When did the golden child turn out to be pure evil? My parents were always hard on me, but I thought they still loved me until my little brother Oscar was born, because our upbringing was like a night and day difference. On my 8th birthday, my parents used the day to celebrate Oscar instead, not because his birthday correlated, but because he simply deserved it. And don't get me wrong, I loved him. Heck, he was the cutest little bean in the entire world, but in the back of my mind, I'd always be thinking, don't I deserve it too? It wasn't until I turned 16 that I finally said something, because for my birthday, they gave Oscar a car. He was literally 12 and couldn't even drive yet. I asked them why they didn't get me anything, and they said Oscar's happiness should be enough of a gift for me. I just sighed, and that's when I knew I had to give up on my dream of having loving parents. And since they didn't give me jack shit for my entire life, I thought when I got accepted into college, I could cash in the lack of parenting for one favor, paying 20% of my college fees, because even that was enough to stop me from feeling like I was drowning in loan debt. My mom just burst out laughing, hitting her hand against the table so hard I thought it would bruise. Son, F off and figure it out, my dad said, with a smirk on his face. I tried to convince myself that it didn't hurt anymore, but it did. I don't even know why I kept visiting them every holiday season, but I did. I even taught Oscar how to drive in the car that should have been mine, and I watched as every Christmas he opened the gifts I never had. But it wasn't until I turned 22 that I finally snapped, because that was when Oscar got his college acceptance letter to the local community college. My parents threw him a party, and I attended to show my support. Towards the end, my dad tapped on his champagne glass to make a toast. He started off with how Oscar was the brilliant son they never had. Ouch. And just as I was about to walk away and drive home, they continued. My dad proudly stated that he and my mom were going to cover all his tuition fees, and even bought him a small house so he could move out and get the full college experience. My eyes widened so much I thought my eyelids were about to split into two. As soon as the guests started to file out, I pulled my entire family into a room upstairs. What the actual F? I screamed, with my phone filming the whole thing in the corner. My mom slapped me across the face. It wasn't hard, but a ring scratched my cheek, and there was red pouring out. You can never be happy for anyone, can you? She said, her voice sharp. I told you we shouldn't have invited him, my dad sighed. I glanced over to Oscar, whose eyes were glued to the ground. As soon as they left, I locked the door and posted the clip on every platform I could find. And after 2 hours when no one had seen it, I tagged my entire family in the comments on Instagram. Lol. And I guess all the champagne made me sleepy because I ended up falling asleep on the bathroom floor. I woke up at 3 a.m. to a throbbing hangover and my parents banging on the door to let them in. We effing hate you! My parents screamed over and over again in unison. I pretended to still be asleep, and they eventually lost their breath and gave up. The next morning, the family group chat was popping off. Some were arguing about how I deserved to be hit. Others said I was a disgrace. It was like the comment section of those alpha male podcast clips videos on TikTok. In any case, everyone decided it was best to discuss it in person. So the next morning, we went to Oscar's favorite restaurant. It was my parents, Oscar, both sets of grandparents, and 3 aunts. The conversation shifted from discussing the weather to my parents' parenting method in a matter of minutes. I didn't say much, just let my grandparents on my dad's side stick up for me. And suddenly, after 2 hours of arguing, my parents finally apologized. You see, my grandparents had threatened to take them out of the will if they didn't start treating me like their son. My mom said sorry through gritted teeth, followed by a robotic explanation of how she should have been better as the adult in the situation. Meanwhile, my dad just shrugged his shoulders and said, I agree with your mom, all very forced. And I guess my grandparents noticed because they told me I could visit them instead of my parents whenever I came home for the holidays. I felt my face light up when they said that and moved in that very same day. When all was said and done, they sat me down on the couch and told me something that still makes me smile to this day. We're still taking your parents out of the will. We just wanted you to get the apology you deserved. For the first time in years, I laughed a real laugh, and I knew all the pain was finally over, or at least I thought it was. The next morning, I was speed driving my granny to the hospital. Turns out, someone had poured laxative powder into her food the day before, and if we had gotten to the hospital just 4 hours later, she wouldn't have made it. And somehow, I knew Oscar was the one behind it. Full story on channel, link below.